Hyppo, so I've done my Pokemon Platinum. I got distracted in the way, so I might forget some details, but I stored all my screenshots and videos previous, so let's go through it. So, I chose Hippopotas because, well, there was no playthrough, solo playthrough with it on YouTube, so it seemed like a fine accomplishment. It's I chose to present it with Happiny, which evolves into Chansey, because by speed they are very similar, meaning they are both slow as heck, but more importantly, as had also similar base stats total. Uh, Happiny, when becomes Chansey, gets all the stat boosts in HP. On the other hand, Hippopotas gets the stat boosts pretty much in everything, so it just becomes a better Pokemon. Uh, Next, I wish to point out the move set, and this reminds me of Fampi, which differs a bit on the move set. It has mostly rollout to speak about, and Hippopotas has other moves. The two Pokemon are practically the same by the aside that, but there are a couple of differences to see in the playthrough, and Hippopotas is just the fourth generation, where Fampi is the same Pokemon from the second generation, so that's the main difference. I was heavily thinking about the super effective moves and the weaknesses. Well, there were a couple of options, but in the end I decided, after looking the end game of the Fampi videos, because there were Fampi somehow got at least two solo playthroughs, it's miserable. And to be honest, this is spoiler here, Hippopotas endgame is totally the same as Fampi. So the very end game, the Elite Four and the Champion, it's the exact same thing. So I decided I will evolve my Hippopotamus. There is no reason not to, it just makes my life easier. Otherwise, it goes just the same, you can see it for Fampi. But for this reason I decided against using the move reminder to get any of the Fang moves, just to stay a bit consistent with the original Pokemon. It didn't really affect anything, it's not... The Fangs don't give a reliable advantage against groups. It, in the first 4 or 5 generations, when the TMs are one use only, it's very important that you get your moves effective against the whole group, the whole trainer you are going against, and not just one Pokemon of the trainer and the next group, and again you need another move. So it's important to have the effectiveness against the whole trainer, and not just the effective against one Pokemon of this trainer and one Pokemon of that trainer, especially the Elite Four, which is a gauntlet run, so you can't come out and reorganize your stuff. So it's without multi-use TMs, that's a problem. And that's why I decided against, multi-turn moves like Giga Drain and Hyper Beam, Giga Impact and Hyper Beam. It's just they did not worth it. As it is a usual Pokemon game with EV in question, I wish to present you the mind-numbing process of EV training, which you need when you are using a Pokemon with the stat total, this stat total equal to equivalent to love disc. Yes, Hippopotas has 330 base stat total, and that's the base stat total of love disc. So it's not a strong Pokemon to say the least. On the other hand, there is no other hand. It's just miserable. I wish every Pokemon game had the XY's EV training system. It's no reason not to. It's especially in the Ultra games, Generation 7. It's a mind-numbingly 6 hour of grindings per Pokemon you wish to solo the game with. It's just there is no in-game tool to keep track of your IVs. I added a photo of at the end of this portion with me on paper notching every single encounter I did. Just seriously, Nintendo and Game Freaks, do something about this. I decided to put up the whole of the first gym. I tried to add some puzzles from later gyms because for these solo videos they only tell you what happened in the fight. It's redundant, you can see it on the screen. And really, the puzzles are way more interesting than just hitting the buttons. But what you see is 8 times speed. Real life time, it just takes like 20 minutes going through this with 1 time gameplay speed, and I'm just not comfortable with speeding up within the emulator. And the other thing is, I tend to do each of the trainers within the game to get XP. I know in the end I will need it, especially for a weak Pokemon with the base stat total of Love Disc. It feels more satisfying for me, it's just my playstyle. It will be interesting in the next portion of the video. See, this is why I like fighting the random trainers. This is where the crew's creativity, the designer team really can shine when they put themselves into it. And whether you are one-shotting everything because of overleveling or not, this can be very interesting. Uh, this trainer starts with a ghastly, which very lot of a lot of time starts with the majority of time start with cursing you, what takes away 25% of your HP per turn. And the next Pokemon, which is another ghastly or whatever, can confuse you. That's very dangerous because that can take away a turn. And this trainer has 3 Pokemon. That means you will lose 75% of your HP just by running through them. That's very dangerous to your health. And that's very good design because then you start to worry. And really, maybe you can lose a turn and you still get a win condition. You might not get money or XP or something, but you still might get the win condition and you can next time just pass it. But if you are not speedrunning, this is a prime example why you should fight the random trainers on the map in a Pokemon game. Of course, for the Ghost Gym I included the boss fight, but that's not the important thing I wish to talk about here. Uh, you can just see what moves are used, how I won, because of course I won. Spoiler, I managed to win the game without using any item. The thing is, I wish to illustrate the effectiveness of Sandstorm, which chips away the opponent's HP little by little. When you try to capture a Pokemon, I know there are fake out move which leaves the enemy at 1 HP. That's really an effective tool in your repertoire. But if you don't have access to that, you can rely on weather effect, weather conditions. That's something I found interesting, and I really, when I needed to capture some Pokemon for some side quest, I used the Hippopotas and didn't switch to anything else for the capture's sake. It's just flavor. Originally for this gym I wish to show you the entire puzzle. Actually I messed it up. Yes, this was the only puzzle in the game I messed up. It was whatever, but I didn't want to waste your time with it. You can see how I won. Yeah. The next clip will be about me reaching the point where I can evolve to Hippodon. The evolved form, it's a 2-stage evolution for the hippopotamus, and the thing was, I wish to delay my evolution to get Fisher because of the move reminder. I'm not deep into Pokemon, I didn't know you can just remind yourself whatever is on the learned by evolution chart. But you know, I was keeping in mind, and Fisher just That's the one. That's the I want move. Although you only get a couple of PPs, so it's really relying on random, but you know, that's just how it works. The water gym was something that gave me a heart headache, and it illustrates very much how this game is based. The problem, of course, is water is super effective against this ground type Pokemon, and another thing is it just really works against you. I wanted to show the puzzles again, and I did. I considered not wasting your time showing the unsuccessful attempts, but I thought this illustrates the point I wish to make, that sometimes you need to grind your levels, and this is a big wall. The wall of Platinum works like the difficulty stagnates for a long while, then you hit a wall. Then the difficulty stagnates again, then you hit a wall. Then the difficulty again stagnates, then you hit a wall. It's a really horrible pacing. I don't like Platinum. It's bad. It really pushes you out of the mood. And this Gyarados is really just trolling the player. It's immune to your ground type moves. It's fucking huge. It just takes away your will to live. The whole thing is just, why? Why are you trolling the player? And this is a constantly returning element for the Pokemon game. Trolling the player. Telling them one thing and then hitting them on the head for following your instructions. Why do you do that? I don't understand. I would speed up this section a bit more, but there is nothing offered between 2 times and 4 times, and then the 4 times and the 8 times. And the 8 times you can't see what button I'm smashing, you can't see what moves I'm using, so it's really nothing I can do really to speed this up more without losing information. But on the other hand, considering all things, it's a good gym which presents a difficulty, but it could have been done way better. Without the trolling, with a more gradual difficulty increase. Well, So there remained the electric gym. It was harder than expected, but you know, whatever, ground type Pokemon is pretty much immune to electric moves. I only did some screenshots on the Elite Four though, and ooh, it's not the Elite Four and the Champion, but the rival, the Elite Four and the Champion, and there it was really obnoxious when it came to the front door. I was just, I was really not in the mood for him. For that fight, the HP bar was super long drawn. It took forever to get to the bottom. I was thinking, what, I'm doing 0 damage? And that was really a time that I skipped like a week or 2 between playing sessions for this game. It was really annoying. But in the end, I had to spam return, which is a really badly merchandise move. Return? Are these Pokemon? The Pokemon aren't supposed to be your friend. You have a prior relationship with. I mean, they are your battling partners, comrades in war or something. What is return? Friendship is investment? They are just your tools? It's a really bad design decision in that move but you know, it's a 102 power move and it's just one of the best in the game anyway. For Aeron, against Yamaga, I missed with Rock Slide for the first time because I had to come out and do some item shopping and something, or be like. and so the Yamaga went down, and then Drapion fainted for Earthquake, Heracross for Return, and Best Queen fell for a single Rock Slide. The Rock Slide here really wasn't that problematic, and they don't hurt that much into your HP, so Aeron is really a consistent fight, it's nothing to brag about. Finally, the Skizor oversped me, but it really has no move against the Dark type, so and I tried to spare with the Earthquake, and initially it's turning out great. I used at the last portion the last of my Earthquake, and it really went into this big epic finale for me because how everything fell together, but then something fell into the wrong place in the end, so I had to redo a couple of battles, but you know, whatever. For Bertha, I outspeeded and one-hit KO'd the Wishcash, and Gliscor obviously outsped me, but its Earthquake had really negligible damage. Unfortunately, it survived for a second run, but again, it's no move, so whatever. It was all falling back, it was in the range for potion. I really hate when the enemy use potion, especially the Elite 4, where you are really restricted. Then Rhyperion and Golem came, they are all suspect duel for Earthquake, so that was just very good. Facing another Hippodon was a bit weird, especially if you are facing your own kind of Pokemon. It does this shiny recoloring for the enemy. It made sense for the old fighting games, but here, especially with the concept of shiny introduced in, like 2 generations ago, it really makes no sense. And it didn't fall for Return, it got fully healed, but then went down for a critical crunch. It had some ability which made me fall asleep, but you know, there is this full restore. I had enough potions to use it at the end of the fight, so whatever. Then came Flint, and Houndoom, of course, outsped, but use a sunny day. It makes sense, I agree, because this is the fire trainer of the bunch, so it strengthens everyone else. But you know, Houndoom is weak against the ground and rock move, but I try to spare on Earthquake still, so I hit it with rock slides, and that worked again. If I have to reload, this is the first Pokemon I saved between the Elite 4 members. I don't give a crap about this. I don't save between because strategy, and we all know it falls back to a little bit of random. Why waste my time? I don't gain any money of this anyway, so good for you if you are into that. The second was Rapidash. I don't know why this mix up between the Pokeballs on the line and the release order, whatever. It used Solar Beam, but the level difference solved this issue. Plus, I was evolved. It would have been very bad if I did not, but I was, so Then came Magmortar and again Solar Beam, and this was really starting to worry me. I was like 50% HP. Fortunately, I outsped Flareon. I don't know what would have happened if I was in the base evolution form. We will never know. If anyone wants to know about that, go check the Stampy video. Really, the moves used here and for the Stampy solo runs exactly the same. Maybe it's roll out there for I don't know what for here, but no, it's not. This Flareon did a flare blitz, which I think is a priority move. I didn't want to bother here and do anything else. I just did an earthquake. It went down. I also realized at this point, which a funny thing, I did not have an item. I kept on my Pokemon the Amulet coin, which doubles the gold reward. Well, it just shows the power of the evolution. Let's get to Lucian, the last of the Elite Four. Mr. Mime tried Reflect, but went down anyway to return. Three of this group is weak against Dark, and I have a Dark move, so I was really not worried against this group. Turned out they are pretty high level. Every Elite Four member has a gradually higher XP level, and that really poses a challenge in the end. On the side note, I also was not worried as Goliath on paper does not have much HP, but as it turned out I was underestimating it and posed some problems, whatever. And there was the option I going to a trainer or using the TM Iron Tail or something. I really had some options, but in the end it's again falls back our reliability against group or against just one Pokemon in the group, and I stuck with my moveset. And this Gallade is went down against 2 return even using its berry. Fortunately there was no restore potions and fully healing. Espeon overspeeded, but I still had enough HP, but you start to worry when you see your HP start to goes really down. And I knew the last Pokemon is Bronzong. It has a huge HP, but I outsped, and from 91 HP it did not kill me, so I was really relieved and a bit of a surprise that it went down for just one hit. On the side note, Espeon for the first time got a critical, and it was a bit of a problem, so I had to redo this fight again. Whole Lucian group is falling back to them not getting any critical. If they get a critical or you get some unlucky things going on, you will desperately need a critical of yours against Gallade. So you spare a turn there, and because of that some HP. So that's about that. And also the quick closing you know, I realized I have the amulet coin, so I had to swap it out after a reload. And then came Cynthia, the champion. For this, the last fight, Lucario and Togekiss are fine on paper because you know you have moves against them. For the rest, it falls back just using your best overpowered moves, Return and against Spiritomb Earthquake, because that's a ghost Pokemon and those are immune to normal moves, but Return is. Another interesting thing to point out for Cynthia and the whole Elite Four situation, they don't really work with status conditions. No confusion, no freeze, no burn, no poison, no paralyze, especially the confusion and paralyze portion, which could take away your turns. And they don't even use the switching out the player's Pokemon moves. So I brought in my whole team. I did not spend time putting in the computer. It had no effect on the outcome. Speaking about conditions, actually Togekiss puts you confusion, and that's really a problem in the end. Because, you know, Spiritomb went down one hit KO, good. Roserade poisoned me for the first try. I was okay, let's see how it goes. And then Togekiss put me confusion, and that cost me the whole of the run. I was really, and the real problem was Togekiss kept me confused. I put on a berry to work against that, but Roserade did not use poison anymore. She just used energy ball, and this whole thing really cost me the run. And I was really, I used up my last earthquake against Spiritomb. I'm at the perfect condition with winning, considering PPs. I just need a return. My rock slide hit the Togekiss, and just that. And no, this did not work out, and I was really, really troubled with this whole thing, as I tried relying on the random, and Garchomp took 2 turns, and Lucario outsped, Garchomp of course outsped, but these didn't cost me any significant amount of HP, so if I just had a little bit of HP uh, to afford, I could win, I saw that. And Lucario was took my last earthquake, whatever. In the end, I reloaded and did the whole Elite Four run again. And for that, at one point, I used a max PP booster between one of two Elite Four, so that gave me 3 extra earthquakes, so there, but I could use it more liberately. And what I also did, I pumped up when I came back my level to level 100, because I was really not wanting to bother with the random anymore, and you know, I could afford it. I'm not looking for how low I can do it. I could have done it probably a bit earlier with a moderate real life luck, but it's just I was just going for the win. And the end was the Garchomp I had faced with 91 HP left at at level 100. I got a quick glow up on me and I was really doing all the thing, but really the point is that 8 level difference, almost 10, really meant that I did not have to rely on luck anymore. It was just keeping the berry in my hand against confusion, hitting with my moves, and I had just enough HP to pull out the wall run. I did not have to rely on quick glow run. I could have done what people did on the vampire runs, the double edge and resting. I was actually equipping, bringing myself the rest TM just in case if I have to rely on it for lack of HP. I was thinking when it would be optimal to use it because Togekis hurt a lot, but in the end it was just enough to get up to level 100 with rare candies. And that was it.